Hello everyone, I'm Lindsey Woore from the Honhyeol Project, and these are the interview questions we'll be asking of the participants. Number 1, what's your racial background? I'm half Korean on my mother's side and half Caucasian on my father's side. The Caucasian part specifically being a quarter Scottish and a quarter German. Number 2, how did your parents meet? My mother and father met in Seoul. My father was working on the Yongsan military base as a government officer or government official worker, and my mother was teaching the American children on the base and acting as a caretaker for them. So they met there, went on a date, and the rest is history. Number 3, when and where were you born and raised? So I was born in Seoul, Korea, on the Yongsan military base in 1988, where the Summer Olympics were happening in Seoul. So I was always called the Olympic baby by my mother. Then I moved to America when I was 4 years old. We moved first to Montana, then Utah, and then finally in California. Number 4, did you grow up around other mixed Koreans and Asians? So not really. In America, between Montana, Utah, and California, I remember in Montana, our babysitters were half Korean like us, and they were the only half Koreans that I knew of. In Utah, there were no mixed Koreans whatsoever, and I remember only one Asian American in the same town as I was in. And then, of course, when I went to California, there was a lot more diversity, but actually I never met any other half Koreans, but I did interact a lot more with many more Asian Americans at university. Number 5, did you ever experience any identity issues while growing up? Yes, I did. When I was younger, I knew that I didn't fit in with, the other Caucasian people, the other white people, and in both Montana and Utah, we lived in very white suburban areas, suburban towns, and I just never ever fit in. And then there weren't really any Asian people around, not any Koreans around. So trying to, hold on to the Korean heritage of mine, that Korean identity, was difficult for a long period of time when I was younger. And it wasn't until I got to California and into university where I met other, mixed people and other Asian Americans, where I was able to kind of, more fully embrace my Korean side and, also just accept myself as being mixed. Number 6, how well do you speak and understand Korean? So when I came to Korea, and, to be an English teacher, and I've been here for 8 years now, I kind of have just taught myself and picked up Korean again on my own, just by, interacting with Koreans on a daily basis at, work, or just whenever I travel around. So, it's a work in progress. I wish I was fluent, or I wish I can be fluent. Hopefully someday I will be, and be able to be bilingual in both of, English and Korean, both my native tongues. 네, 한국말 조금 할 수 있어요. 왜냐면 저 미국에 갔을 때, 저 어머님은 영어는 더 important 생각했어요. 그것 때문에 저는 한국말도 다 많이 잊어버리고 그냥 영어만 했어요. 그 한국에 다시 왔을 때 지금은 영어 선생님인데 한국말 그냥 뭐 저 혼자서 다 배웠어요. 네, 그냥 조금만 할 수 있어요. Number 7, do you find this affects your life? Yes, it definitely does. When I first came to Korea to be an English teacher, and I didn't really know much Korean or understand it, I think it was harder for me to connect with Koreans, and communication is definitely a big part, when you're living here as a foreigner. So now that I've been here, for 8 years, and I've picked up on it a lot more, I've been able to kind of connect more, I would say, with, my coworkers and Korean friends, Korean people that I just meet. And I feel more accepted by Korean society because of being able to, speak the language a bit and understand them, and also, understanding and knowing the culture. It definitely helps to have that and to feel more like a part of the Korean society. Number 8. Do people make assumptions about your ethnicity based on your appearance? Yes, they do. It's interesting because I'd say it's about half and half. Some people, when they see me, they'll see me as Korean. They'll see my Asian side. Other people see me and they just see me as a white girl. Honestly, it depends a lot on what people want to see, I think. So, and then my boyfriend always jokes that depending on what I wear or how I'm looking that day, I could either be looking more Asian or more white. So it depends on a lot of factors. It also depends on the language. If I'm speaking Korean, maybe people will see the more Asian part of me. If I'm speaking English, they see the, Caucasian side of me. And I've gotten a lot of random, guesses of what I am, my mix is, like people have thought I was European or Hispanic, or, when I've traveled to Southeast Asia, they always thought I was, half of them, like half Filipina or half Thai. Question number 9, and the final question. How do Koreans treat you versus how foreigners treat you? I would say that they do treat me differently. Like I said previously in the, previous question, Koreans, they will treat me like a foreigner for the most part, like I think a lot of times they see me as a Caucasian or white passing when they first meet me. And it isn't until, later when I tell them, oh, I'm a Honhyeol, and, I speak Korean to them, and they're like, oh, wow, okay, and they're surprised. And I think maybe, for the most part, most of them have warmed up to me, and, felt more comfortable around me, closer to me, after they know that. And foreigners or Westerners, they treat me, I would say most would see me as, just an American. Maybe a few see my Asian side, and then the others see my, Caucasian side. Like I had said before too, people, they want to see, or they see what they want to see, I think. And but for the most part, I'd say most Westerners and foreigners, they just treat me like an American. And very few can tell that I'm mixed race. And then the ones who can tell, I'm just like, wow, you have a really good eye. And they're like, oh, are you like half, like, Korean? Like, if someone says that, that's really rare, if they actually guess my, actual mix. But yeah, I'd say that, I'm treated well by both Koreans and by foreigners and Westerners, and I feel accepted by both sides. And that helps me in accepting both sides of myself. And, you know, I am half Korean and half Caucasian, but I embrace both. And I'm able to accept, you know, that is who I am. So thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Again, this is Lindsey Woore of the Honhyeol Project, and hope to see you guys soon.